Robert Saleh nervous right now. Let me tell you. This is exactly how head coaches start talking when they got a bad offensive line. And listen, yelling at your boys and telling them that they need to be harder ain't gonna make them better.
Is because the silent tape represents who the fuck we are. Defense, our style was all over this bitch yesterday. And it was awesome to see because that's our standard, that's who we are. All right? Offense. Guys, it was our first fucking opportunity to change the stink that's been in this organization for a very long time on the offensive side of the ball. You can have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can have two $10 million plus receivers.
Listen, man, he capping right there. Just because you pay Allen Lazard $10 million or Corey Davis, I don't even know which one, who he talking, who he's referring to as the number 2 that's getting $10 million in that building. But they don't got nothing outside of Garrett Wilson. Nothing that's threatening in the receiving game. You better hope Tyler Conklin can maybe turn into something, I don't know. Maybe McCall Hardman. No. They got nothing. But he's not wrong about this offensive line either.
Receivers. You can have a reigning offensive rookie of the year. You can have all kinds of.
That's it. Right there. That's it.
None of it fucking matters until the big boys up front change who the fuck we are. We as coaches, we as an organization can't want it more than you.
The coaches always wanted more. Uzama in the building.
To show that we're fucking changing, and it didn't show. And I'd love to say we got another practice, but you know what? It's like Sunday. You don't get Monday morning to go redo. It's getting your mind right to represent who the fuck you are every single fucking time you are on the fucking field. We'll fix all that shit, but you can't fix shit until we know you're giving everything you got. Making it fucking hurt, straining and fighting for everything you fucking got. Because we will go.
Offensive linemen it is somewhat an effort thing, I do think, on the NFL level at a certain degree.
And a mediocre offense. That's about what we proved.
Because everyone's high level, everyone's really good.
Any more second chances?
Oh, I love it.
And they got resources there. They got resources there for sure. On that offensive line, they put a lot of work into it, man. They put a lot of work into that, but none of it's really panned out all that well for them. I don't really know why, but it does seem like they maybe have a chance if Elijah Vera Tucker continues to play well, that they're gonna have a pretty solid guard in there. He can stay healthy. Connor McGovern, up and down over his career, overachieved a little bit last year. I think he maybe will play better. DeJuan Brown, he's on like his 13th year at left tackle. Probably not going to be the guy you want to be relying on. And everyone else is just like not even notable, to be honest. Everyone else that's on the offensive line. You look at the receivers, like I said earlier, it's just nothing there that excites me. Like I'm more excited about a cold ham sandwich than I am Allen Lazard. I'm just not excited for this roster. This roster just does nothing for me. Like, you have Garrett Wilson, fantastic, loaded number 1 receiver. Corey Davis, no, just not getting it done. Randall Cobb, just not getting it done. And then I don't even understand what's going on with the backfield. Breece Hall, okay, you solid running back, banged up, okay. Michael Carter, decent weapon. He can catch the ball out of the backfield a little bit. So maybe that's going to be their number 2 option there in the receiving game a little bit if you can play him in the slot some. And then you go and add Dalvin Cook. I'm like, I guess as an insurance policy for Breece Hall or somethone else who goes down, I guess. But I'm just not sure, like, where are the resources gonna go? Like, it can't be if you have average offensive line play, but you have really good receiving play. I mean, receivers are gonna get open eventually. If Aaron Rodgers got to pat it because, like, he's staring down Garrett Wilson and he don't got nobody else to go to. I mean, I don't know how fast those sacks were coming. Maybe he really didn't have time. But to even let something develop at all. And so that's problematic. But I got to imagine that had more resources been devoted to the receiving game, had you not let your second-year receiver, who is essentially a first-round pick, and Elijah Moore go to Cleveland for nothing. Had you not done that, maybe you have a little more hope. I just don't have a lot of faith that a 6-year Allen Lazard is going to be that much better than he was beef last year or the year before. I mean, he's okay. I mean, I guess like I'm maybe being a little harsh on him. He's probably a little bit better than I actually give him credit for. Just looking at some of his stats and looking at some of his numbers, PFF, like maybe he's a little better than I'm actually giving him credit for. But I just don't. I think he's your number three. I think he's your number three. No one else is really test. No one else is taking the top off anybody's defense. Like I'm not nervous about anybody else other than Garrett Wilson. And then you're gonna try to beat me with Alan Lazard and Corey Davis underneath. Eventually we're gonna get there. Since he's not no doubt if they come to the jungle, it's a wrap. I don't think they can go. I don't think they go anywhere. I don't think they can go to Buffalo and do it. Let's see. Let's pull up their schedule. At first glance of their schedule, I was like, oh my goodness, this team is gonna be in absolute shambles. I mean, they start off the season with the Bills, Monday Night Football. Although a home game, I still think that's a loss. I think the Bills defense is going to get after it. I think the Jets defense will be good enough to keep that game interesting and keep them in it. But the Bills ultimately will come out on top because Josh Allen's just too much of a weapon. He's going to score points. He's going to win. He's going to make some plays. And I think the defense on the other side will make a lot of plays, especially early in the season. That could get a little wild, but I do think the Bills will get it. Cowboys, when we're talking about the offensive line woes, I mean, they're just going to get after them, bro. There's no way around it. I think 0-2 to start the season, no doubt. And then Patriots game, quietly the Patriots could have a top 10 defense. I mean, I looked at some of the guys on there. I looked at some of their numbers. I was actually shocked how good they were. I had no idea. But Bill Belichick has built another really good defense down there. Jonathan Jones and a few other guys that are just really good players, man. Matthew Judon, they got crazy. The pass rush is insane. The pass rush is really good. And they could definitely cause some issues. But with all that being said, I think that the Jets get that one. But then 2-1 to start the season. You got the Chiefs at home. That's a loss. This is an interesting one at the Broncos. Even worse. You don't want to play a Mile High. It's a long trip. They're probably going to be 3-1, 2-2 at best. The chatter's already going to start. He's going to be a little beat up. Aaron Rodgers, that is. The prima donna version of Aaron Rodgers is going to start to show. I think they dropped this game, a game that a lot of people maybe expect them to win at that point. The Broncos could be up against the wall a little bit, needing to win. And then they got the Eagles at home right after, and I don't think that's going to be one that's going to be real too kind to them. I think the Eagles are going to probably come in there just overall a better team. Probably the only other team that you could say possibly has a better defense other than maybe the 49ers is the Eagles. The Giants game is interesting. I do think the Jets will go ahead and get that one. And same with the Chargers. I think the Jets will pull that one out. I think that Aaron Rodgers will probably be a little bit prepared for that, and you got a young quarterback in Justin Herbert. I think that Aaron Rodgers probably can outplay him. Raiders, same thing here. They probably go ahead and get a win there. But then the Bills, again, I'm gonna go with the Bills on this one. Jets, Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, okay, but I feel like Aaron's gonna probably pull out one of those, if not both. I got in my pre-show notes here. I got them 10-7. I have them winning both the Dolphins game. I'm gonna flip that pick right now and put them 9-8. I think they're gonna drop one of those Dolphins games. That Dolphins offense is just too good, and I think that they're gonna also split with the Patriots. They'll get a win at the Texans. I got them over the Browns. I think that Browns-Jets game is going to be meaningful this year. I think both of those teams could be playing for something at the end of the season there in December. The AFC is definitely loaded, but I definitely think that's two teams that could be fighting for those playoff spots. And the back end, a couple of wild card teams for sure. You know, with 7 teams getting in now, you know, you got almost half the division in, so, or half the conference in, so. How meaningful are those spots? I don't know. How good are those teams? Actually, I don't know. But I do think a team like the New York Jets could be sliding into that 7 spot, that 6 spot. They are good enough for that. And after looking at their schedule, I was a little nervous for them, like I said, towards the beginning. But as I got down towards the bottom, I was like, okay, it's a little more favorable. There's some winnable games in there. I definitely could even see them going. Like I said, I had them 10-7 before the show. Now I'm looking a little more bit more like 9-8. But either way, I am not super high on this team. I think what Robert Saleh said was very, very spot on to what they should be worried about, man. I think that this offensive line is going to be not the best, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to feel that pressure pretty early, and I think he's going to show. I think he's going to show his true colors. Going to turn into the real Aaron Rodgers that we know. But with that, boys, I am out. And shit, boy 5, and what's another episode of I don't know, reactions to football talk, I guess, or whatever.